flashing, rubbers burning, hearts are clashing, tires screaming that southern heat. 200 strong on the NASCAR beat. Lap 5 wreck on turn 4. Smoke so thick can't see the door. But somehow I slip right through like a ghost in red, white, and blue. 'Cause I thread the needle, dodge the flame. Every pileup calling my name. Wrecks behind me, wrecks ahead. But I ain't wrecked, I ain't dead. Sliding sideways, holding tight, praying hard through every fight. Got no wins, but I got pride. Made it through the other side. Yellow flags like warning signs, but I ain't falling for their lines. Got nerves of steel, a shaky hand. This ain't a game, it's fight or land. Saw that 18 catch the wall. 21 spun, took out them all. But somehow I found the lane, like Moses through that fire and rain. Yeah, I thread the needle, dodge the flame. Every pileup calling my name. Wrecks behind me, wrecks ahead. But I ain't wrecked, I ain't dead. Sliding sideways, holding tight, praying hard through every fight. Got no wins, but I got pride. Made it through the other side. No checkered flag, no champagne rain, but I kept it clean through the carnage and pain. One more lap, one more breath, a dance with danger, a race with death. Still I thread the needle, feel the flame. Every turn's a twist of fate's game. Wrecks behind me, wrecks ahead, but I ain't wrecked, I ain't dead. Sliding sideways, holding tight, out of chaos into light. No first place, but man, I ride with fire still burning inside. Yeah, I thread the needle in this wild racing ride. Strapped in tight, green lights flashing, rubbers burning, hearts are clashing, tires screaming that southern heat. 200 strong on the NASCAR beat. Lap 5 wreck on turn 4. Smoke so thick can't see the door. But somehow I slip right through like a ghost in red, white, and blue. 'Cause I thread the needle, dodge the flame. Every pileup calling my name. Wrecks behind me, wrecks ahead. But I ain't wrecked, I ain't dead. Sliding sideways, holding tight, praying hard through every fight. Got no wins, but I got pride. Made it through the other side. Yellow flags like warning signs, but I ain't falling for their lines. Got nerves of steel, a shaky hand. This ain't a game, it's fight or land. Saw that 18 catch the wall. 21 spun, took out them all. But somehow I found the lane, like Moses through that fire and rain. Yeah, I thread the needle, dodge the flame. Every pileup calling my name. Wrecks behind me.
All right, so here we go. Everybody out there watching qualifying as these truck drivers are going to take on this Kentucky track. We've got 3 races left in this season for Free Time Racing. We are bringing you some green-walled action tonight. John Ross, I am in the booth along with my good friend Russ Martin. Russ, how are you doing tonight?
Oh man, I'm kind of excited. You know, it's not every day you get to see some of these guys rip around Kentucky. I mean, this track is kind of tricky in some aspects, so it'll be interesting to see what these guys can do around this track here tonight.
Well, and we talked to a couple of drivers before the race, and they are going to have a very, very short pit window tonight. About 22 laps, I think, Russ, as they go around this track. So we're going to keep that in mind as we try to do a little math as we go around here. But this is the last race for some of these drivers to try to work their way into the playoffs, because just like we talked about here in the pre-show, only 2 races coming up that's going to decide a champion.
Yeah, I think tonight's it's the last race before those 2 races of the playoffs start, and you got a lot of guys eager to try to make these playoffs. I mean, it's a 2-race battle in the playoffs. You know, the first race, top 12, cuts down to the final 6, and then, you know, NASCAR style top finisher in that last race is going to bring home the title. So, I mean, you got some dominant drivers in here this year, and that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to walk away with a championship this year if they don't perform very well in that last race.
Yeah, it's a really good point. And talk about dominant drivers. Let's take a look at where we're at in the points. You can see Josh Lambert, he is your overall win leader and point leader. He has 5 wins. Russ probably could have picked up another win last week, but man, that 85 just super strong. You've got Melton right there with the win as well. The man, the myth, Robert, he is just watching from the hauler tonight. He is in 3rd in the points, and you got Brandon Cowell, last week's winner. He's going to be in 4th, but I want you to look, Kane, Richard, as we go down the line, really Juan and Tim Johns are going to be battling Matt Morrison and Jacob for that final transfer spot. So 13th and 14th could, in essence, get in, as we have 28 truck drivers that's going to take the green flag tonight.
Yeah, like you said, he had a really strong run there last week. Ran into just a little bit of problems towards the end of that race. He kind of was doing an off-strategy pit cycle, mired him back in traffic, kind of got himself caught up in some stuff, and you know, the 85 showed a lot of speed all night long, and he was definitely able to capitalize on that and pick up that win, lock himself in. So he's definitely breathing a little easier tonight. But, man, those guys back there, you know, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, man, these are going to be the guys to watch tonight trying to battle their way in.
Well, so it looks like we have the chat is going off already. Donald Kraft just waving there. Donald, good to have you in the chat. Mrs. Ally Racing saying, let's go racing this one, but wishing the 48 the very best of luck. Selbig said, let's go Zach Tucker, which Selbig is Zach Tucker. So rooting himself on. Robert looks like he is pulling for Tucker tonight. Team 48 already in. You know, so as you look, Tim Johns and Juan, they are the 2 that's in 11th and 12th. 13th and 14th is Morrison and Jacob. Now, both Matt and Jacob, they are here. I can see that they have put times in. I'm just not, Juan is here. And let's see, is Tim? Tim is here as well. So we are going to keep a very close eye on that battle here for that last transfer spot tonight as we go along. Now, Ziegler is not safe. You know, only 12 points. And for that matter, really, Phelps isn't safe either, Russ.
Yeah, I mean, you know, a couple guys, you know, somebody decides to be a surprise winner here tonight and lock themselves in, man. It doesn't really necessarily mean anybody's safe here tonight. I mean, you know, we've seen a lot of speed out of that 6 of Matt Morrison as of late. You know, maybe he picks up that win and secures his spot. I mean, it's really still anybody's race, but you know, of course, you got the usual suspects that are going to be out there and trying to prevent that from happening. So, going to be a lot of fun watching these guys try to battle for that last and final transfer spot.
Yeah, and you know, when we look at this and we just kind of look at the points, Matt has shown a ton of speed here lately, and he doesn't have to win this race, Russ. He just has to finish 5 spots ahead of Juan, 7 spots ahead of Tim. You know, 13 spots ahead of Ziegler. So, there is a lot of opportunity for him and Jacob to be able to make this. John has an outside shot. So does Fowler, John Fowler. But I wouldn't say that they really have to pick up the win here if they're going to get that done tonight.
Yeah, a couple guys, struggle off and on throughout the season. They're definitely looking to try to pick up that win. And, I know Fowler's one of them. He's as hungry as ever, and he's got a pretty good starting spot here tonight. So, may see some differing pit strategies happening here tonight too. Just trying to leapfrog and get those positions where you can, try to get yourself locked in.
Well, let's take a look, if we can, at this starting grid, because like you said, I mean, Fowler is going to have to win if he's going to do that. Both Johns really are going to need to be able to pick up a win if they're going to get this thing done. And I just don't know. Josh Lambert, your 5-time winner, he is going to take your pole at a 7:53. Brandon, in that 85, showing a ton of speed. He's going to be right there in second. Tucker is going to be in third. So we talked about Zach a little bit earlier. Rick is going to be in fourth. Ridgway right there in fifth. Joseph Phelps in sixth. Morrison in seventh. Fowler, Jeff Dillon, and then Kane is going to round out your top 10.
John's, one of them drivers. He's trying to get himself in there. Going to start in P11. Jacob's going to start in 12th. John Walker in 13th. Charlie Stutzman in 14th. Barry Acker going to start 15th. Clyde rolling off in 16th. Bryant 17th. John Gardner Sr. going to start 18th. John Gardner in 19th. Ryan Walker going to round out the top 20 here so far.
Yeah, Juan is going to be right there in 21st. We talked about him a little bit earlier. Needs a good run tonight. Rudy is going to be in 22nd. Clayton in 23rd. Ziegler in 24th. And then you've got 25th of Melton. Shane is going to be 26th. Pete Dillon. And then you got Ogle and then Bennett are going to round out your 28 drivers here tonight.
And like I said, got a lot of, a lot of hungry guys out there tonight. I know, Josh Lambert, Brandon Crowell there starting up front on that front row. They're going to have guys breathing down their necks all night long here tonight. So about ready to get these things fired up and get this race going. 100 laps. Like we said, fuel run of about 20 to 22 laps. So these guys are going to have to make probably 4 pit stops here tonight. And like I said, pit strategy may come into play here tonight.
It might, and this is going to be big. Now, I can tell you Kentucky gets tight. These trucks are going to get tight on the exit of 2 and the exit of 4, so they're really, really pushy in the middle of these turns when you get a little heat in these tires. So they're certainly going to have to contend with that as we get ready to set these guys loose. So this is it, folks. We are lining 28 trucks up here at Kentucky Speedway. We are going to find out who is going to make the chase. We got 5 to 6 drivers that have a chance to go chasing the next week. So here we go. Josh Lambert's going to bring them down with last week's winner in that 85 on the outside, Russ, as we get into this Geico restart zone. And now we are going green here at Kentucky.
Great start there on the bottom. Going to easily clear the 85, sailing off into turn 1 here.
All right, so Lambert is going to take that early lead. He is going to stick that thing right at the bottom. He is in tire saving mode already. Zach Tucker going to be right underneath of Brandon. Brandon is stuck on that high line. Is going to try to run him down there. We're going to get tight on the entry here of 3.
Tight battle going into 3 there with the one in the 85. That bottom line showing just a little bit better speed on entry, but that 80 or the outside with that 85 getting a good run coming out of turn 4 on the outside.
So Brandon is holding strong there on the outside. So is the 33. The 6 of Morrison, he is down low, already moving up quite a few spots. So Morrison's up 3 spots, Russ, from where he started there in 4th position now.
Yeah, off to a great start. Like I said earlier, he's shown a lot of speed these last couple of weeks, and we know he's hungry to try to get himself definitely locked in. And now he's going to look to make this a 3-way battle for second as Lambert just continuing to pull away.
Yeah, Lambert that's exactly what he wants to see, is these drivers fighting side by side. And we've got some more battles back here. Ridgeway's going to be clear, but Phelps and Modric, they're going to fight, and that's going to be over about 6th position, as now they're going to go single file. And we've got Fowler back there who is fighting for a playoff position. And like you said earlier, he is going to need a win. But right now, this 57 machine of Joseph Phelps all over the back end of Ridgeway trying to get this passed on.
These guys just getting single file here. Looks like just trying to settle in. The 57 just trying to pick his spots where he can, but pretty calm here so far. Getting single file, get this thing, get some laps run out and let that first pit cycle come to you before you start making too many dangerous moves.
Yeah, and talk about dangerous. We've got a lot of Jacob fans. Jacob trying to secure his spot into these playoffs. He is going to be underneath the Fowler, trying to get this pass done, and that is going to be Fowler's intent. Jacob right there in 11th position, and we're going to continue to pop up these points as we go through this night, as it starts to wind down a little bit, as we can see what really these drivers are doing in real time, and see who is going to be able to make these playoffs. His nose to tail 48 getting that pass done there on Fowler.
Yeah, 48 looking good early on, trying to work his way up through the field here. I mean, like I said, I know the one big thing here with Kentucky is tire management. I mean, it's been a while since I've ran here at Kentucky, but I know that this place can very easily chew your tires up if you drive it too hard early on. So, I mean, it's about getting those positions while you can, and then kind of settling in and letting those tires work their way in and saving some for the end of this run.
You know, it's so funny you mentioned that, Russ, because I definitely remember, as it looks like Stutzman, I mean, we've got 3 wide action right here. And it looks like the 83 now trying to find his way. Is he going to go to the apron? He is not. He's going to stay right behind the 180, try to push him past Fowler. Looks like, Russ, maybe Fowler is in just tire-saving mode right now, but he is continuing to fall back. He is going to lose 2 positions through 1 and 2 now.
Yeah, potentially 3. Got one there looking on the inside, and possibly another one trying to go high. You got to think better of it, get down there on the bottom. Yep. Fowler, he might be in tire saving mode, but it could be that higher line, just not being able to have that speed to be able to maintain those positions. But got a great battle here, right here, between these 5 trucks.
Yeah, and it looks like Barry now is going to shoot down to the bottom and get underneath of this 180. And I got to tell you, that is one of the better looking trucks that I have seen out here. Barry in that 83, he is going to get that pass done. So Barry passing drivers left and right, and he is going to cut down right in front of your 458 machine. And now 458's going to go after this 180.
That's one of the things we see with these, these mile-and-a-half cookie cutters is, you get stuck up there on the outside, and you can get, you can lose 2-3 spots, and, really, really quick until you can get yourself back down there to the bottom.
Yeah, and it looks like Fowler once again starting to fall back even further. Now you've got Chris Melton, and we know we're going to see that driver in that 23 up here toward the front before the end of this thing, starting all the way in the back here. He is starting to make his way forward. Stetson saying that he loves the speed out of that 48 machine, 48 up to 10th already. And Fowler, again, just struggling with this truck right now.
Oh, if he's just kind of getting tight on entry or what, but he's definitely not able to keep that truck down there on the bottom, and that's really opening that bottom lane for guys to get by him.
Robert saying he drove past this track today. I drive past Nashville Super Speedway almost weekly. Man, no matter what happens, anytime you drive by a racetrack, you're just going to look over at it. Even if there's nobody out there, you're just going to look over. You have to.
I do. I'll say I do that with my local short tracks. It doesn't matter. It's a racetrack, man. I want to look at it.
Got to be able to look at it, man. But we are clean and green so far in this race. And that is pretty surprising with 28 trucks out here. Is now the 72 battling back on the outside of the 70.
Yeah, I mean, we've had a couple of weeks where, the first 10 or 15 laps were, pretty chaotic, and we had, 2 or 3 cautions within the first 25 laps or so. So be clean and green through the first half of this first fuel run here is really great, and showing a testament to what these guys are able to do out there.
Yep, so we're going to go back up here and take a look because we do have a battle. This is going to be for your 3rd position. Matt Morrison has caught up to Brandon in that 85. Now, these drivers are behind Zach and behind Lambert. Lambert almost out to a 2-second lead already in this race, about 13 laps in. So he is on a rail once again tonight, but it does look like Morrison is working his way up. So we are going to pop your points up just real quick. I know you can't see those drivers in the background, but Matt Morrison needs 5 positions on Juan, and then 7 positions on Tim Johns. And right now, if we look where Morrison is, he is in 4th. And let's see where Juan is in 21st. So right now, that would put Matt in the playoffs. So we're going to keep an eye on that as we go throughout the night.
John's even back there running P20 right now. So right now, it looks like Matt's securely in if he can just keep doing what he's doing and get this thing done.
And that's what you like to see, right? Having the race in your own hands, being able to battle for this thing and just be as fast as you can. Looks like that's what Matt is able to do here, pacing around Kentucky. Now, does look like he is running that more shallow line, rotating center a bit better than the 85. The 85 dealing with a pushy truck, and we talked about that a bit earlier on how these trucks are going to continue to get tight over and over and over throughout this night. And we're just going to hop on board here, Russ, and watch him as he's going to get in this turn, and you're going to see that orange stripe on his wheel. You're going to see how much wheel he is going to have to put. See how it just disappears there? He is really tight on entry. Now, he lets off enough to keep it loose on exit, but man, that truck is just pushy on entry.
Yeah, I think these guys are going to be pretty happy with the fact that a fuel run's only about 20 to 22 laps, because these tires are obviously giving them a little bit of trouble. Only 16 laps in and already that tight. That tells you what this track does to those tires.
But now they're going to be looking at some pit stops again, about 22 laps for these drivers. So you can think when this thing opens up to about lap 20, you're going to see the majority of these drivers go in. I don't know if those trucks are pushing really bad, if they're going to take 2 more laps and stay out on this track. Robert's saying that there are some drops in that equation too. So what we probably need to do is kind of give everybody, these are going to be unofficial. And then once Robert and team get back and start punching numbers into that calculator, we'll find out who's going to make these playoffs.
That kind of shakes everything up when you're not really paying attention to it.
Yeah, really does. But that battle is going to stay with the 85, with the 4, but we're going to kind of cycle back here as now the 48 continuing to move forward. He was 10th just a few laps ago, now up to 8. So Jacob making his charge to the front. He wants to get into these playoffs, but right now that 62 is battling back. Jeff Dillon, they're on the outside trying to get that position back.
Yeah, we said it, from the get-go. 48 making moves, working his way up. Obviously has a truck that he's really, really comfortable with, able to gain positions early on, and hoping to keep gaining more as this race goes on.
Yeah, it looks like that truck, he's able to turn that, Russ, anywhere where he needs to turn it. You can see Jeff kind of pushing on the exit of these turns. 48 able to keep that truck down. So he's got a nice wheel, a really good right front on this truck right now. So he just needs to stay patient, and he has a great run going.
That's the biggest thing with these, these mile-and-a-half truck cookie cutters, man. Just keep that right front on you, and you're going to be able to rotate the center a lot better later on through the runs.
All right, so now we are 20 laps in. So we are dangerously close to seeing some of these drivers come down pit road and try to get some service here. Now Jeff Dillon still pouring all of that pressure on the back end of Jacob. Right now he is trying to get to his outside, just can't quite do it. And he's trying to get that cutback through that dog leg on the front stretch. And it looks like Jacob's just staying low enough where he just quite cannot get there.
That's the one thing. It's kind of like running that defensive line right there through that trial, just keeping it down where you can't, doesn't quite give enough room for somebody to get there underneath you, and that's what he just needs to keep on doing with that 62 back there. Now 62 is going to take a look to the inside. left
Yep.
it open just long enough.
Yep, we talked about that the lap before, and the 48 did not close it off, and that did allow Jeff Dillon to get down there and get underneath, and he is going to get that pass done pretty quickly, as now we are 22 laps in. So it looks like we're going now. Ryan Walker is your first driver down pit road in that 98. So we're going to start seeing these drivers coming in very, very soon. As now Josh Lambert, your points leader, he is coming down, overall leader here in the race, and follow him is going to be a whole slew of cars. But guess who is going to be able to lead a lap?
Yeah, that 6 being able to work his way up there to run P4, top 3 coming down pit road. You're going to get that lap led. I mean, some of these guys, they may be able to stay out. You know, we're going to probably see a lot of them come in this lap. Some may be able to stay out even another lap because, you know, with these trucks, even though it's a mile and a half, it's still kind of like a drafting track a little bit. So they may have been able to work out an extra lap around here, but seeing a lot of these guys breaking down pit road.
Yeah, they're definitely all the rest of these drivers coming down pit road now. They just cannot make it. Oh, now the 19 is going to step out. I believe he is going to be in good shape now. We do have a black flag. That is Charlie Stutzman speeding down pit road. So he has a black flag. Everybody else looks to be okay. Actually, I take that back. Shannon Ogle is going to have a black flag coming down pit road. But all of these drivers coming down. Now, that gives Matt Morrison some much needed points here, as now it's just going to be fuel only for some of these drivers. Remember, only 2 sets of tires.
Yeah, so just having a good pit stop there, coming back out front, but Lambert back out in front again here. A little bit of a bigger lead, it looks like, than what he had when he went in. He's up to about a 3.5, almost a 3.6 second lead.
Yeah, he is going to start extending this thing out. So they come in, and it looks like that was at 22. So we got to start thinking about right around that 44 mark. So about 20 laps from here, they're going to be working on that. Now, you got Matt Morrison that went 23, Rick right behind him at 23, and then about a handful of drivers behind them. So the question is, are they going to try to extend that out as well on this next stop?
I don't see why not. I mean, if you're mired back there in traffic just that little bit, I mean, like I said, you can get a little drafting help around here and get you that extra lap. So, I mean, if you come in at, 22, I'm going to expect to see you back in at about 44, 23, maybe around 45, 46 potentially. So, I mean, if you can continue to get that kind of mileage out of it, yeah, I mean, it gives you a little bit fresher tires on that final pit stop. Gives you about maybe a lap or 2 fresher tires come that final run.
Yeah, absolutely. And that has to be the decision, right? When do you take tires? When do you not? And it does look like Brandon on and off of pit road is going to gain a ton of time here on Tucker. So Zach Tucker, he is in second, firmly in second, about 3.5 seconds behind your leader. And Robert out there in chat saying we are mean with the tire sets. And I agree, but it does throw some strategy in when do you take a fresh set of tires? When do you come down and pit for fuel only? And looks like all of these drivers, the bulk of these drivers, fuel only on that last stop.
Yeah, I think you probably see them at, this next stop. They'll probably take, providing we stay green, we'll probably take tires this next stop. And then again, around the 88 to 90 lap mark when they come down for that final pit stop, they'll probably take that final set. So I'm figuring they're going to go every other stop here for a set of tires. But I mean, that could all change with the throw of that flag of a certain color that we don't like to talk about.
That is true, but these drivers have set sail here. We are caution-free so far. Barry, he is in a battle. He is knotted up with the 70. But as we look at these drivers, we are going to step away for just a second, folks, and we are going to pay homage here to Complete Graphics, who is the sponsor of this year's series here. So we'll be right back with you. All right, so we are right back here with you. 31 laps in the books. Looks like Barry and this 70 of Chris Melton, they have started to cool off a little bit as Chris is going to get that position. Now, Chris is your biggest mover here, Russ, up 15 positions so far in this race.
Yeah, having a great run here so far. I think he was one of the ones that did not lay a qualifying time here tonight. So starting in the back and working his way up to the sides of top 10.
All right, so here we go. Now we've got Bryant looking to get by Tim. Now, Tim is one of your chase contenders. And we're going to pop this up just one more time for everybody to look at here. So you've got Tim. He is in 11th position, 6 points ahead of your cutoff line, with Juan right behind him, only 4 points. So Jacob and Matt Morrison, they are going to be the ones to look out for. And right now, Matt is in 4th position. Jacob is in 6th. So then you've got Juan. Tim is in 14th. And then Juan is in 23rd position. So, Russ, it looks like there's going to be some flip-flopping. Now, Robert's got to do some crazy math. He's got to look at some of those drivers with drop weeks. But if everything holds true right now, you might have 2 drivers making the playoffs and 2 that were in, now are out.
And you know how that's going to play out with those drop weeks. I mean, that's why Robert gets paid the big bucks there to do all that strenuous 6th grade math, and it's too hard for some of the rest of us out here. But we've seen it time and time again. Guys who feel like they're fairly comfortable, and by the end of the race, and you get those drops taken out, and all of a sudden you find yourself on the outside looking in. So, not over till it's over, John.
Not over until it's over, but especially speaking of not over, it looks like Cowell all over the back end here of Tucker. So he has been able to run him back down, taking care of those tires a bit better than what this one truck was able to do. And you can see that rotation through the center of those turns for the 85 truck is now, he is all over the back end of him. He is looking for 2nd position.
Yeah, going to try to squeak that nose down to the inside. Not going to able to quite get it done. Going to squeeze back up beside him, behind him, and then look to the outside coming through the front stretcher.
Yeah, not able to get that done.
I would say 85 is looking for any kind of opening he can get right now, but the one just not giving it to him.
Well, what he did that last turn in 3 and 4 is he got stuck what I would consider the wash. He really got caught in that back end of this one truck's dirty air, and it pushed that truck all the way. So you'll watch him come across. So the one car right there. So see how that truck has got to take that 85's got to take that higher line. Now it's working for him as he is firmly door to door with that one truck. But man, you're having to put some will in it to get that thing out of 4.
Definitely driving it a lot harder than what you would like to be driving it. But if you can get the move done quick, like he did right there, got that pass made clean. It's not going to hurt you too much. But definitely not something you want to have to do. But sometimes you just got to do.
Yeah, and you can see him now on 3 or 4. See how he's able just to keep that truck a lot lower than what he was doing when he was behind the one, and that's just because he's now got that clean air on the nose of that truck. So now all of these drivers are about 5 seconds behind your leader here of Lambert, but what can you say really this year, Russ, other than Josh has come out, he's been the dominant truck for 90% of these races. He's led the most laps in most of these races. Some of them have not worked out his way. Some of them have, with 5 wins already on the season and just out here dominating this one again.
Yeah, he's just been obviously the one to beat almost each and every week. I mean, you got that much speed, it's a lot more fun for you to come out and race than it is for some of the other guys. But just having just such a dominant season all season long. 5 wins, looking for 6 here, looking for that momentum going into the playoffs. I mean, you got drivers like that. I mean, they're hard to beat, but they make you definitely work for it. And it makes the wins, when you're able to beat them, it makes the wins that much sweeter.
Yeah, it really does, and that's one of those things that that happens in a lot of these leagues. Is you'll get these drivers out here that are really putting down some fantastic pace. Other truck drivers trying to catch up. So anytime they're able to run them down and beat them, you know that is a fantastic accomplishment. And we certainly have some drivers that can do that. Now, right now, past couple of laps, that Brandon and that 85 machine has been quicker than Lambert. Now, this driver is still on the move. Chris Melton all the way up to 10th. He is now looking at Phelps. Phelps, one of your drivers that's potentially right there on that bubble. I think he's pretty safe here, Russ. But it looks like Melton continuing to march forward, up 15 spots from where he started, looking for 16.
Yeah, I mean, just an all-out good run. I mean, he's got a really good feel of this truck. Obviously, very comfortable with it, and you know, making those moves, trying to work up towards the front. And I mean, we're closing in on another round of pit stops here and another, you know, couple laps here. So, you know, another opportunity to potentially gain more spots if you can get in and out of your box cleanly.
Yeah, and I agree, and I think that's probably what Melton's waiting for here, because you know he's had to drive from the back. So if you spot all of these drivers 5 to 6 seconds plus, being able to put your truck where other trucks are not, so that you can get past them. You know, he is probably waiting. Oh, now we see the 33 starting to get a little crazy. Ridgeway getting close to that wall there on the exit of 4, but you know he is begging for a set of tires, and that is probably in the cards for him here when we go into this next pit stop. So that should start this coming lap, if not the lap after.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure just about everybody out there is going to be taking tires. We see them now starting to break off, come down pit road. I'm pretty sure everybody's getting tires this time around. And then if this thing stays green, probably not the next pit stop, but the one after that, then they'll load up on them again for that final run to the checker.
Yeah, and Zach Tucker, these tires cannot come soon enough for him. Now, he has given that spot up to the 85. 85 securely right there in second position, but Tucker now starting to slide back here to Morrison, as Morrison has found a ton of speed, and he is looking to get that third position. Now, I do think that Morrison did go one lap longer than what Tucker is, and he is going to shoot down to the bottom in 3 and 4. So hopefully Tucker did not call out pit here, and looks like that 6 machine is going to get this passed on.
Yeah, I'm anticipating probably another lap or two out of that 6 truck before we see him come down pit road, but I'm really surprised that the 90 hasn't come in yet. I mean, he was one of those first ones we saw in that first round of lap 22, so he's been able to extend out another lap from that first run that he did. So, guy's able to stretch this field just a little bit further the second run.
Yeah, it looks like we have a lot of drivers doing that. Tim Johns, he is down pit road. And you can see those folks on that left-hand side. We've got that scrolling from about 11th all the way to 28th is now the 1 machine of Zach. He is coming down pit road. 85 of Brandon is down pit road. Josh Lambert, your leader, is coming down pit road. And let's just stick with him and see. We, like you said, we are going to take 4 tires here, and then we're going to do another stop without tires, and then we're putting tires on to the end.
Yeah, that's what my strategy would be. And then, of course, you know, if that flag of a certain color comes out, I mean, possibly 2 tires, but I'm really not seeing with this track how that's going to be too awful beneficial. But again, I'm behind the booth, not behind the wheel, so what the heck do I know?
Well, there he goes. Josh is out. He is coming back on this track. And we're going to see what's happening, because now Matt Morrison, again, leading some laps. Already got those points earlier on that first exchange. That's going to certainly benefit him. And it looks like he is slowing down. Yep, he is going to make that turn off now. He went a bit longer here to lap 47. So you got to think, if you're going to do one more fuel only, you probably, if I'm calculating everything correctly, Russ, and you're my spotter, what I'm telling you is I'm going to put new tires on here. I'm going to run this set of tires out, and I want you to short pit me on that last set of fuel only, because I want to maximize my fresh tires when I come back in that last pit stop.
I mean, right now, like I said, like, you know, if we were Matt Morrison, lap 48. I'm anticipating probably around lap 70. We might see that next pit stop. And then you got 30 laps to the end, but you're getting 21, 20, or 22, 23 laps out of a fuel run. I might say bring it down like around 17 or 18 laps, maybe even as early as 15 laps, just to do that short pit and get those fresh tires on sooner.
Agreed. So he is going to come out. It looks like as we're going through this, lap 47 here. So if I'm just doing some math, if he come in at 23 last time, that means he was able to do 24 laps. So he's going to come out here. Can he take fresh tires and make it to the end?
It might be a little bit of a stretch. I'm not quite sure if the fuel will be able to make it, but they might take the gamble on the tires. But that's something we'll have to see. Like I said, we may have some guys take that gamble with the tires, just come in, top off the fuel enough to get to the finish. Other guys we might see try to take those tires, but I mean, again, it's going to come down to that flag of a certain color. If we see one late and you're out of tires because you took them a little earlier than what everybody else did, man, that's going to leave you high and dry.
No, that is a really good point, and Robert is saying several different strategies. Yeah, because I'm just trying to do some math here in my head. So if you've got Morrison at 47, and he come in at 23, that means he was able to do 24 laps on that set of tires. So he comes in at 47, comes out at 48. So he's going to have 70. Man, he is going to be very, very close to making this
probably
the entire way.
Yeah, I was gonna say probably put him at about lap 76.
Which would put him right at lap 100.
Yeah, right
if this
at
thing
the
goes
middle.
green.
Yeah, if this thing goes green all the way and he can save just a little bit of fuel on this run and the next one, he might be able to squeeze that final drop of fuel out if he can make those tires last to be able to keep the lead going.
Well, so here is Chris Melton. He is still marching forward. He is in 7th, but I am going to just tell you folks, right in front of him is Matt Morrison. He come down at lap 47. He might have an outside chance to make it. Chris Melton at 46. If this thing goes green, I think he's going to have to splash and go.
Yeah.
Tim Ridgway.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I think so too. And just about everybody else, I think, would at least have to probably splash and go.
Except Jeff Dillon in the 62. So you can see how these drivers are starting to fall back, and they're using that draft. Let's go on board here with Jeff. Let's just make sure we're not clutching yet. Robert's saying, wow, Morrison has this. I think he's, and even Dillon, and we know Jeff Dillon, I've seen him in other leagues. We know he's an intelligent driver. If he thinks he can make this thing. Now, Jeff come down on lap 47. I believe he thinks he can make it. He is not clutching. And you can tell now Chris Melton has got by Matt. Now Matt is going to use the draft of Melton to save a little bit of fuel. And you see really, Russ, how he's able to keep that left fender just underneath of Melton going into those turns. It gets that fresh air on that left front fender. It gets him max grip on the front of those tires, and it doesn't push it. It keeps you out of that dirty air. Yeah,
it really kind of helps you rotate just that little bit easier. We're riding on board there with Matt Morrison too, and he's not clutching either. So, maybe just kind of helping to use that draft just a little bit to save, try to avoid having to clutch to save fuel. But I agree with Robert. I think Matt Morrison is one of them drivers that may be in the catbird seat to take this thing all the way to the checkered flag if he can get that fuel to make it.
Yep. Now he's going to be battling with Jeff Dillon, which is just a couple of seconds behind him. Joseph Phillips in the 57 come down at lap 47 as well. And then Barry, best looking truck at FTR, in my opinion, this season. He come down at lap 47. So those are your 4 drivers that I feel like they're going to be able to get this thing done. Now, I don't believe Lambert. Now, Lambert might be clutching. I did not hear that truck running. Let's see what happens. Robert saying Fowler's right there. I think, Robert, Fowler come down at 46. So I just don't know if he's going to have enough fuel. All right, so it doesn't sound like Lambert is clutching that truck. I thought I heard him clutch going into 3. 6 seconds, he can afford some clutch work. There he goes.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, like you said, you got that big of a lead, 6 seconds, you can afford it. And maybe he's thinking the same thing. Maybe he's thinking of, I got such a big lead right now that if I clutch, save that as much fuel as I possibly can, even if I give up 4 or 5 of these seconds, I might be able to make it to the end too.
Yeah, and even 6 seconds out on a track gets eaten up by 3 to 4, maybe even 5/10 a lap with you clutching. Russ, I believe that Lambert made his bed when he come down that first green flag pit stop at lap 22. I feel like he come down at 45. I don't think there's any way that he could do that. Now, another driver that looks like he's starting to back off is this 48 machine because, and we're looking at these lap times, folks, slow way, way down. For instance, that last lap, and now keep in mind, these drivers are on fairly fresh tires. 32.3 for your leader. Their best qualifying lap was a 31. So they are a 1.2 seconds slower. And that tells you how all of these drivers are slowing down. The 85 is certainly not catching Josh Lambert. So I believe the 85 now, he's trying to save tires. Or it's fuel, I'm sorry.
I think there's probably a lot of guys out there trying to calculate this out in their heads while they're trying to race, trying to figure out if there's a way that they can make it on just one more stop. I mean, I think for a lot of these guys, it's a definite, possibility. Some of them, like we said, like with Josh Lambert, I mean, he would have to save a lot of fuel. I mean, we're talking, lap 88 for the last pit stop, and going into 22 laps, a stop. I mean, I don't see a 9 or 10 lap fuel saving coming out of 2 runs here.
No, I completely agree with you, and I do feel like those drivers that come in at lap 45 or earlier, their bed is made. They've just got to go. Now you can hear the 62. So the 62 is definitely. This is Jeff Dillon. It looks like Tim Johns has gotten by. So Dillon has made the decision to save fuel. As you can hear him clutching going into these turns and falling back. Now he is all the way back to 13th spot. So he is definitely on the path to try to save fuel. And I think that Lambert still now running about almost 6 seconds. That's still slower, even 2/10 slower than the last time we checked in on him. As it looks like he is still trying to save fuel.
Yeah, I'm trying to think in my head right now of even maybe of a short pit option here. Of maybe. I mean, the Lambert came down and I believe it was like lap 45, 46. I don't think he would have enough to stretch it to like the mid 70s before having to come down again. I was gonna say maybe if there was a way to stretch it to about lap 74, it might be able to stretch it that final fuel run to be able to try to make it to the end. But I just mentally I don't see that being plausible.
Well, we are going to certainly, and now Jacob, now we thought this was coming because Jacob pit on lap 43. And I believe what he did is he backed off, trying to see if he was going to be able to make that on fuel. Now, short pitting here, I'm not certain what the idea is. And maybe you're just rights only. No, he is going to get fuel only. So he is going to have a set of tires in the bank here. But I think all of these drivers that can make it on fuel are probably going to take tires on that last stop.
Yeah, I would think right now, I mean, we're 66 laps clean and green. I think these guys are going to be anticipating that it's going to go clean and green from green to checkered. So, I mean, I would anticipate that when everybody comes down pit road their next time, they're taking 4 tires, they're filling that thing up, and then they're going to be saving fuel to try to make this thing all the way to the end.
Yeah, and I will tell you this: this driver has really dominated this race once again. Now, 5.6 seconds out, so he's still dropped a couple of tenths, but it's been about 5 or 6 laps. So we know that 85 machine is trying to save fuel as well. But just like we do every single race, we want to hop on board with some of these drivers and see what it's like to go around this track and around Kentucky here inside with your leader. So getting through 1 and 2 really nicely. Truck turning now right here is so flat on entry that this is where you have a ton of right front tire, as now our leader is going to come down pit road. He's going to give up the ghost, and he's going to say he's got to come down one more time. But now that is a lap inside of the truck of Josh Lambert here. So we're going to get this outro done, and then we'll be right back. All right, so he gave it up, Russ. He knew he wasn't going to be able to make that. And that is now going to turn this over to Rick in that 71 machine.
Yeah, and coming down right now, coming back out on lap 70. I mean, now you're talking lap 92 to lap 93 before you're out of fuel again. So now you're coming down with, 7 laps to go. So, I mean, I really think that with the way that this race has gone so far, a lot of these guys are planning to push it to the end. Although I just seen the 6 on pit road,
Yeah.
which definitely is a change from what we thought.
Yes, it definitely is. So that is a huge difference here. So the 6 has come down pit road, folks. So what we thought on him being able to stretch this thing and get to the end is now out the window, because we know he's going to have to come back down. Now the 57 is coming down as well. We thought maybe he would stay out. Barry in the 83 is coming down. We thought he might stay out. So all of these drivers, that's going to turn it over to Jeff Dillon. Now, we heard Jeff clutching earlier. He's at lap 70. He has not given up trying to get this thing to the end, as some of these drivers now going below him, but he is, it looks like he is going to be around. We'll have to see how he's going to come out, because it looks like Lambert has already passed him here.
Yeah, I mean, he's falling quick, and this thing stays green. I mean, I can see he is definitely, I'm gonna say I'm assuming that he's definitely trying to plan on stretching this out to try to make it without having to come down again. But John, I just don't think that if he does that, I don't think he's going to have enough time, given how much time he is giving up right now.
Well, let's think about it. So if we look, Lindsay Norris out there saying, Shannon, I believe in you. Thank you for being an awesome lady in the sport, Lindsay. Absolutely fantastic job by Shannon. Shannon right now, I think down about 5 laps, but out here doing a fantastic job. Now, if we go back to the 62 of Dillon, so he's 72 laps in. He is going to try to make this thing. Now, it took Josh Lambert 39.5 seconds to get on and off pit road. Jeff Dillon right now is in second position, 5.5 seconds. So even if he gets down, Lambert gets on and off of pit road, it looks like the 62 down on the apron, so I think he's coming down pit road here.
About 26. If he comes down right now, it's going to put him at about 26 to 27 laps to make the end of this thing. I'm just not sure that he's going to be able to stretch it that far.
He's going for it. I can tell you right now, folks, he is going to try to make it. He's going to cross his start-finish line at lap 74. So that's going to put him 26 laps. And again, it's just like you said. Now, Lambert's going to have to come down. Lambert did not take tires that last time. If he has a big enough lead over the 85 of Brandon, I would assume it's going to be fuel only and get out.
7 laps. I mean, maybe 2 tires.
Right sides.
Yeah, right sides only. I would think. While you're fueling up, you might as well get at least right sides if you're taking some kind of fuel. But I don't see wasting that time for 4 tires, not with only 7 or 8 laps left in the race.
Yes. Now, we saw the 48 come down. He broke through before everyone else did. 25 laps to go. Here comes the drama, folks. This is the last race of this season before we go chasing. 2 races to go. We've got drivers on the bubble. We've got drivers playing pit strategy. We've got drivers that are just all out hitting the gas pedal. We got a dominant driver out front that we're not certain is going to make it all the way. And I mean, this last 25 laps is going to tell our story for the last race of the regular season.
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting final 25 laps. I mean, like I said, we know guys are going to have to come back down pit road, and that's going to make it the money stop. I mean, you've had a clean race all night long, 75 laps so far, clean and green, and it all comes down to a money stop with about 7 or 8 laps to go in the race. You make a mistake on this pit stop, that completely ends your race.
Oh, that's such a good point, too. As now Melton is going to get by the 48. Now, Melton has worked his way all the way up to 4th. That driver has been on a mission since the very drop of this green flag. Just again, you just cannot spot these drivers that amount of time and assume that you're going to be able to run them down without any cautions. And who would have thought here at Kentucky with 28 drivers out on the track, we would be 23 to go. Now, I will tell you, I really wish I had information on those drivers that had sets of tires still sitting on pit road. Is now Melton is going around 3rd position. So put him up 1 more spot, as now he's going to try to track down the 85. But if a caution were to come out, who can get 4 tires? And I got to feel like those first 10 drivers have a set sitting in the pits.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if any kind of caution comes out from now to the end of the race, we're 22 to go. We're in that window to make it on a fuel run. Anything happens where a yellow flag comes out, anybody in that top 10, I think, is taking 4 tires. Outside the top 10, may gamble on 2 tires, try to jump positions. Just not quite sure if that's the move to make, whether or not it's going to be beneficial or not. I mean, we've seen it work in the past, but this track is just kind of one of them ones. We really don't see guys or races here at Kentucky all that often, so it's really kind of hard to judge, really what the thought process is here.
Well, I will tell you what, it won't be long before we find this thing out, as it looks like now 20 laps to go in this thing. And man, 6.5 seconds is your lead between 1st and 2nd. Fowler now looks like he has passed Jacob. Jacob is coming down pit road. So let's see if Jacob's going to take rights or if it's going to be all 4.
I was just going to say, like, anytime between now, around now is a great time to do a short pit if that was the strategy you wanted to try to go with. We see a couple of guys. We see the 48 there on pit road. Looks like he's only taken 2. I did not see the left side of that truck go up. So,
yeah, the 2 Johns, the 2 Gardners, they have come down. They're on pit road. They're on the same strategy. So right back up front with this 90 truck. We're going to see what's going to happen. Now, you got to keep an eye on Jeff Dillon. Jeff is 23rd. Now, he is 2 laps down. Fowler 2 laps down. He might have stayed out a bit. So Can Dylan make this thing to the end? And I just got to feel like we're just going to go back and check on Jeff. Oh, and is Jeff gone? Has he blinked out? He is out of the race, Russ.
Yeah, I just noticed that. As you said, he was 2 laps down. I go, how could he be 2 laps down? And I looked over. Yeah, Jeff Dillon out of the race. Wow.
All right, so that is certainly going to change everything, because I believe now that's going to turn it really this win over to Lambert if this thing goes green, because he has 6.2 seconds now. We do have a battle here for second position, and that battle is over. Chris Melton has now taken that position over from Brandon. So Melton again now has driven his way all the way up. And I think maybe he's got fresh tires here. I believe he might have taken tires when everybody else was fuel only. And so he's going to come down and get that splash and go with older tires.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a possibility. And, you know, it may be one that kind of works out for him. If he's only got to do a splash while everybody else is taking tires, I mean, it may benefit him. Going to be interesting. I mean, we've seen him on the march all day long, started in the back, up to P2 here. Slowly but surely breaking into that lead from Josh Lambert down to almost a 5-second lead now. Was just about 6 when Melton made that pass for second. So going to be interesting to see how this plays out with 15 to go.
Yeah, he is certainly on the move. Now, go in purple for all those Jacob fans in the 48. 31.09 the previous lap. So he was able to be your fastest truck driver all night long that last lap. But you are right now. It looks like Lambert is on some old tires. 14 laps to go. He is definitely getting run down by Melton. Fowler is now with third as Brandon Cowell is going to go down pit road. And so certainly Melton is on the charge, but you know when Lambert comes down the pits, he's going to get some tires, and that's got to be soon, you would think, and here he goes. So we just thought about that. If he is going to continue to lose that kind of lap time, he's going to have to come down pit road.
Yeah, and I'm probably going to say he's only taking 2 tires in the splash. I don't see a 4-tire stop here being the call right now. Just 2 tires while you're topping that thing off and get back out there, because you know Melton's got to come down pit road.
Yes, Melton does have to come down pit road. So we're going to see what happens right here and see if he goes rights up. He's definitely taking rights. Let's see what happens. Let's see if this driver's going to take lefts. He is taking lefts.
He does. He had 4 sitting there. He's going to take all 4.
He is going to take all 4. He has got that first stall, though, so that's certainly going to help him just drop that jack and take off. So now we're going to see how this is going to cycle out, because Melton, coming from the back, is right now going to be your leader. With 12 laps to go, he's going to have to come down, but Melton, I assume, has those fresh tires here, so he's just going to run this thing till there is no more fuel left in that truck.
Yeah, absolutely. Just run it for what it's got right now. Come down, get that splash when you have to, and try to get this thing done. But you know, if he doesn't come down soon, though, that could put that 90 right back, right back to him. Because right now the 70 is the only truck on the lead lap, so he's going to have that 1 lap buffer if he's only got to do a splash and go. But not sure that's still going to be enough time.
Yeah, he's still out here turning some laps. That last, now he is in some pretty heavy traffic. So we're going to keep an eye. He turned a 32.69 that last lap. Lambert turned a 31.28. So a second and a half for us.
Yeah, I was going to say, Lambert's going to be pushing that thing for all he's got. I mean, once Melton comes down, he's going to get back on the lead lap. He's got to, hope that he can get that lap back and get back around and be able to have that time to run Melton back down once he comes back out from getting that splash and go.
Yeah, I do think with Lambert turning the lap times, he's turning 32.71 by Melton. Lambert's going to be, he hasn't crossed the start-finish line yet, so we'll see where he's going to be. I've got to think that he's going to be up 4 to 5 seconds over Melton, and we might find out here very soon. Right now, we're going to find out, folks, is now that 70 truck is going to come down pit road. We're going to stick right with him here. We want to see if this driver's going to take fuel only or if he's going to get some tires. Fuel only.
Only.
$33 seconds is your gap. Lambert now passing for second. This might be close. 29 seconds, 26. 12 seconds. No, this is going to be just, he's going to blow right by him here. And there he goes. There's that 90 machine.
Yep. And those fresher tires are going to prevail over Melton with those older ones, so.
Good strategy by Melton. Just did not work. Just not enough laps. 7 now to go when Josh Lambert gets to this start-finish line. Rudy, right now in that 23, he is going to be second. I do believe that driver still needs to come down pit road. Melton right now sits in third, but my goodness, look at this behind him.
But the gaggle there battling it out for 4th, 5th, and 6th.
Yeah, so Cal is going to be right there, and he's going to be right underneath of Melton. He probably has a lot fresher tire. Melton is going to be a sitting duck. Zach Tucker is somewhere back here. He's right here. Six laps remain in this race. And, you know, all of these drivers just want to get this thing set up. Now, let's look at our points one more time. So, again, Tim Johns and Juan, those two drivers hold your final 2 spots. Matt Morrison and Jacob in that 48, they want to get in. Morrison and Jacob are 6th and 7th on the track right now, respectively. With, it looks like...
I think he's P12, so
yeah,
4 or 5 spots out.
Tim is P12, and then Juan is 20th. So Juan is the one on the chopping block again. We'll have to see how this thing is going to all play out when the drop races come in. Six and a half seconds is your lead between Josh Lambert and the 85. Chris Melton still is hanging on to that 3rd position, but my goodness, you are going to have a battle as Zach Tucker is 1 truck behind. He's got a truck in between him and Melton. Now he's going to go underneath of that truck. And this is going to be for a podium position.
Said Melton trying to hang on to 3rd there. Tucker definitely trying to take that away from him, starting to try to run him down. He got by that lap truck. Now see if he can get there in the next 3 laps.
3 laps to go. This is your closest battle out here on the track. This is going to be for a podium position. Chris Melton playing some strategy, and it paid off about that last green flag pit stop. But after that, he is going to be on the slide back as all of these drivers have nice fresh tires. Melton is going to have those old, it's just fuel only coming down. And man, he is just eating him alive right now. I don't know with 2 laps to go if there's a whole lot that Melton can do in this 70 truck to hold Tucker off. As now Tucker's going to shoot to the right-hand side and get the outside line on the 70. And I think he's just a sitting duck here.
Yeah, the one of Tucker's definitely going to get that pass done here coming into 3. Well, Melton's trying to hold strong there on the bottom, not giving it away. We're coming to the white flag here. Now it looks like the one's going to be able to clear the 70 and get that 3rd and final podium position.
So there you go. This driver has dominated all race long. He picked up your pole position, come out here and led every one of these laps outside of some shifting around based on pit stops. But man, once again, he is going to come around and pick up your 6th win of the season, and that is Josh Lambert here in that 90 truck. Congratulations to him.
Another great dominating performance. Definitely putting everybody on notice that he's going to be the one to beat in these playoffs because you take a look at some of these two playoff races, and they're going to be tracks that are kind of similar to what we've seen here tonight with Kentucky. I mean, next week in Vegas, almost identical to what we've seen here tonight. So definitely a dominating run by Lambert here tonight, and going to be going into those playoffs with a whole lot of steam.
Yeah, just like you said, I mean, next week is going to be very, very similar of a race than what we've seen tonight. Here is now the 90 machine is going to burn down and celebrate a fantastic win. You've got Cal that is right there in second with Tucker in third. So let's see if we can pop up what your race results were. And here we go. So, Josh, again, your winner. Brandon right there in second. Zach Tucker in third. Chris Melton's going to be in fourth. Jacob in fifth. Really nice job by Jacob here. Matt Morrison's going to finish in sixth. So, it's going to be very interesting to see when Robert gets these points out, how this thing is going to go. Rick is there in seventh. Joseph Phelps in eighth. Fowler in ninth. Barry Acker in 10th.
And Tim Johns, he was one of them ones that was kind of on that line here coming into tonight. Going to finish in 11th. Clyde 12th. John Garner is going to finish in 13th. John Walker in 14th. Bryant going to finish in 15th. John Gardner Sr. going to finish 16th. Rudy in 17th. Mike Ziegler going to finish in 18th. Charlie Stutzman 19th. And then Juan Velez is going to round out the top 20 here.
Walker in 21st. Clayton Fowler 22nd. Dillon in 23rd. Shannon picking up 24th. Jeff Dillon in 25th. Ridgeway in 26th. Kane in 27th. And then finishing out with no time on the board is Shane Bennett there in 28th. So Robert out there saying, what a race. I completely agree. That was a fantastic job by all of these drivers. Such a great thing. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, the one thing I was thinking was, they went green to checker. No cautions here tonight. And what's that one determining factor so far? Robert wasn't in the race.
Oh, maybe the better spectator. Maybe giving us the old bad mojo. So let's see if we can bring some drivers up and have some conversations with them. I don't see anybody in the broadcast booth tonight, but you've got to think as we go to Vegas next week, this is going to be very, very interesting on what these drivers can do, where they're going to be able to position these trucks, and what they think about strategy, because Melton come very close to getting that strategy worked out exactly right.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, next week it's almost more of the same as here tonight. That mile and a half cookie cutter. The only defining factor might be the track temp. Might be a little bit warmer. Vegas is usually known for having a little bit of higher track temps. But other than that, I mean, I would almost say the strategies would be almost the same as what they were here tonight.
Yeah, it's a good point. Now, we do have somebody out here in the waiting booth, but I'm not sure who it is. It just says S for me. So let's bring them in and have a conversation, Russ. Let's see what happens. Hey, this is John and Russ in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. How's it going?
Good, good. Hey, so I'm assuming it just says S on your name. Are we talking to Zach?
Yeah.
All right, good. It just says S on your Discord name. Well, Zach, first of all, fantastic STK picture. But secondly, had a great truck all night long. You had a good starting position and was just extremely strong all throughout the night. Looked like maybe on some of those runs where you had to just do fuel only, on the back end of that run, tires giving up on you a bit. But man, you battled all night long. Listen, one flag to another, no cautions tonight. Just walk me through how it went for you.
Well, we knew we was only getting 2 sets of tires, so that eliminates you have to skip each pit stop just to try and give you, fresh tires there at the end. I knew Josh was gonna be fast. He's fast everywhere, and I knew I didn't stand a chance to beat him, but I felt like short run speed, I could beat Brandon, but long run speed, he killed me. And then Matt was even fast behind me, so I had to watch out for that. And then just there at the end, man, we just caught so many lap cars, and it was pretty fun though.
Well, listen, you did a fantastic job and you kept all of the fenders on that truck, as did everybody out here, 28 truck drivers coming out to Kentucky and going caution free. So, Zach, fantastic job coming home in third position, man. We'll turn it over to you, let you give your shout outs.
I just want to give a shout out to Premier Racing Group. That's one of the guys. I'm an in-house driver for them. Streaming Friends Racing Group. They're Outlaw. He's a great guy over there. And FTR chat for throwing this thing on. This thing was a blast, and I really enjoyed the season. It's crazy. I still have yet till now. I got up to third place.
Well, listen, you did one heck of a job tonight, and you definitely deserve that podium finish here at Kentucky. And this is a great momentum driver for you to go into these last two races of the season, Zach. Congratulations here again on a top three finish.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Y'all guys are doing a great job. The only way we're gonna win this thing is taking out Josh. So that's about all we can do. And I'm not gonna take a teammate out. So
Yeah, we
uh,
got you, man.
just want to say, love you, Josh. Good job, bub.
But if it happens, it happens, right? It does say wreckers and checkers or checkers
I
on the
mean,
SCK. It is what it is, right?
if he
I
just
mean, come
runs
on.
the front nose, it just happens, you know.
Well, I was gonna say, I mean, if Denny, if Denny can go out and wreck Ty just because he's in the way,
Right?
you know,
He seemed like he was all right. They were teammates, pretty
yeah, that's what I'm
much, you
saying.
know. So
If Denny can do it, you can do it.
that's the way I look at it. I just gotta catch him first.
There
Yep,
you go. That's
you
it.
got it. Congratulations again, man, on a P3.
Appreciate it, guys. Y'all have a good night.
You
Love you.
too. All right, so there is your second place driver of Zach Tucker. Now, we do have some information for you because it looks like Morrison made it in. Jacob finished P13, so he is one spot out. Ziegler was the last truck in, with Juan getting bumped out to P14. So Matt Morrison in, and it looks like Juan is going to be pushed out. That's your big mix-up for tonight.
Yeah, I was gonna say tough break there for Juan. I was kind of trying to watch him a little bit, and it seemed like he struggled there almost all night long, and not sure if he just didn't have a good feel or what. But tough break for Juan getting bumped out in that last race.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. So, well, folks, it looks like P15 and playoff standings for Fowler. All right, so John coming in with Complete Motorsports and saying that his strategy was off. Yeah, but really nice run overall. It looked like working your way all the way up to fourth position, John, throughout that night was fantastic for you. But Russ, it looks like we don't have anybody else in the waiting group, but we want to say congratulations to Brandon. Brandon picking up that win last week, doing really good this week and finishing in second position. You've got to think, man, outside of Josh, this is one of those drivers you got to circle every single week and say, man, he is going to be competitive everywhere he goes.
Sure. I mean, we've seen a lot of speed out of Brandon, especially the last couple of weeks. I mean, picking up that win, last week, locking himself in. Definitely a threat. I mean, we've, and I don't like to say it, but we've seen Josh, have some struggles here and there. So, the 85 is definitely one of those drivers that, if the 90 has some kind of problems at Vegas or some kind of problems at the championship race, I mean, the 85 could definitely capitalize.
Yep, and as always, what a fantastic job by that 90 truck picking up his sixth win of the season. You've got to think going into Vegas next week, he is the one that you're eyeballing, but it's like you have said, and this is not the first time you've said it, throughout the night, you never know what is going to happen when you put these drivers on the track. And Russ, we are going to see that next week. Anything can happen with only 2 races to go here before we crown a champion.
Yep, sure. I mean, we've got a couple of wild card races coming up, for these playoffs, and like I said, one little mistake can cost you. So, these next 2 races, you definitely got to bring your A game and be on the money. So it's going to be great to watch these guys battle for a championship over the next 2 weeks, and I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Well, congratulations to your top 3 drivers. That's Josh Lambert, Brandon Cowell, and Zach Tucker for finishing 1, 2, and 3 on the night, Russ. That is going to wrap up the regular season here on American Speed Network. We are looking forward to 2 fantastic races to crown a champion here at Free Time Racing. But until then, we've got a little bit of practice to do. We got a little bit of thought to go in on how we're going to play some strategy. But we are certain of one thing: rain, shine, it does not matter. We are going to be racing here next week at this exact same time.
Absolutely. Appreciate everybody tuning in as always, jumping in there in the comments. If you haven't already, make sure you give us a like and a follow on YouTube there, and we'll see you guys next week as we get this championship underway.